Welcome home and welcome back. This is Up in Canada. I'm your host, Dominic Raphael, and I will continue my series on the big box store. Some of the experiences that I've had to endure while purchasing. Comes down to a membership again, where you're a Pro Extra, for example. That's a Home Depot thing. And as much vital information as they can gather, they do. And when you sign on to your Pro Extra, you have to assign a work number or a project number to whatever you're purchasing. Now, the benefits are very, very minimal at best, because you go from different tiers from silver to gold, or from bronze to gold, or whatever the statue of value happens to be. And I happen to be at silver now. And as silver, I get a whole $5 and something cents off of almost, $5,000 worth of purchases over the last 6 months. So not really a best investment, and not really a benefit or a membership privilege. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today with Home Depot is their customer service. Just recently, and again, when I spoke yesterday about the Costco intervention on their receipts, because I always make notes of my adventures in these big box stores, especially if there's something that doesn't seem right or something's out of place. Like I repeat again and again that we as human beings don't really look into our seventh and eighth sense, which goes beyond the physical and the visual. It goes on to a higher sense of what's going on and what might be, threatening or troublesome for some. Anyways, back to my discussion. Just recently, in the process of doing a remodel for a bathroom. So I recently purchased some tile. Not bad looking tile, reasonably priced, yes. But what I found invasive is that now they have more self-serving checkouts, you always have this opportunity to go to a self-checkout. And quite honestly, I think it's better to go to a self-checkout than it is to go to a clerk. Not because the interaction is a bad thing, but the pace of the process is quicker. You're not waiting in line, unless there's a lineup at the checkout for self-checkout. But needless to say, a lot of the stores, these box stores, are putting in these video surveillance cameras. So when you go up to a self-checkout till, you're completely opened and your privacy is completely dishonored by this video plate and video camera staring you in the face while you're doing your transaction. So that day I was not really happy about that kind of personal invasion. So what I basically did is I took a plastic bag from the rack and I put it over top of the video camera. And it's like, I don't need you to look at me purchasing or doing what I'm doing, because it's none of your business. I'm sure there's some kind of probably digital ID process that a lot of these box stores are going to. And it's not just Costco now. It's Home Depot. It's Rona. It is, what is the other big box store? Can't think of it at the moment. And then there's even the smaller stores, the block stores, which is like the Dollaramas and dollar stores. I'm sure that the super stores, grocery stores and such are maybe going in the same direction, but in all honesty, I think it's a true invasion of someone's privacy, and only another reach out or overreach of corporate and government overreach to basically track your every movement. So it's not a happy time for me when I have to go through these things. So anyways, I had placed this bag over top of the video camera, and the clerk, who was, she was in probably her mid to late 40s, maybe older, don't know, walks over and rips it off the camera. And what was her comment? Oh, it was, this camera's not on and it's not working, but you can't do that. And then when she tried to move the camera, it basically did not move. It's kind of fixed. And then she realized that, oh, but it is running and it's our policy. So I says, well, it's not my policy to have my privacy invaded. And she had no argument for that. So what I did is instead of putting another bag on it, I put my hand up to block the video. And she started moving the camera around. And I left it for a moment, and then she stood there for a good 5 minutes while I'm trying to do this transaction, and persistent on not allowing me to have my privacy. This is customer service. So aside from being berated, aside from being insulted, aside from being disenfranchised because I happen to be a Pro Extra member, this is the way I get treated. So it's not a good look for Home Depot. So anyways, I says, well, I didn't ask for the video, and I moved the camera. Of course, it wouldn't move, but it tilted kind of up and down, but nothing more. And then she came out and said, well, if you don't want your picture taken, maybe you should go to the one that doesn't take pictures. And then she went to go grab my cart and start walking my cart over to this other till. And I turned around and I says, excuse me, but I'm busy here, because I'd already started the process. And I pulled back the cart and then continued on with my process and processing the purchase. I was dumbfounded. I thought, where in any right does a clerk have a right to disrupt your transaction, disrupt your peace of mind, distract your or dishonor your request to not be on display for all of Home Depot to see? And she had nothing. She couldn't say anything. She finally stepped back, and then I continued on with my purchase at the same till with the video camera. When I think about it now, a couple of days later, I think, you know what? I mean, I did have my book, this book, with me at the time, because it usually is my journal that I keep notes in, and also my products that I need to purchase, and some of my plans, and also some of my designs when it comes to doing remodels and such. I could have easily just lifted it up like so and just blocked the camera just like this. And what right would she have to say or do anything? She'd have to physically touch me in order for me to remove it. And then that would be an assault. So that's an assault against a patron at a big box store who is literally videotaping your every moment, move, and product purchase, and even your product, what do they call it now? Project, your product project. So have we lost our right to freedom, our right to privacy, this digital score system or this digital ID, it is not something that we voted on. It's not democratic. It is being forced on us. And then we are berated because we try to defend our right to privacy and freedom. And then we get disenfranchised or criticized or physically handled or manhandled or woman-handled, whatever the case may be. Is it right? Not for a second. Not for a moment. So when you go to your box store and you go to shop, and if you're a member of that store, yeah, you have the choice to go to the clerk. It's not saying that they're not going to have a video sometime, when you go to purchase things there. But if you like to do that kind of self-sufficient, independent purchase and communication and that fast transaction to get your products and get your costs and pay your bill and then leave, and it saves you 5-10 minutes. That's a lot of time in one's day, especially if you're a contractor. I'm the CEO and Viceroy of Parket Vending Incorporated. But Parket Vending Incorporated is not only a vending service. The vending service that I provide is a service vending. It's Parket Vending Services. So it can be a service that I provide, or it can be an actual contract I endorse, or happen to sign on to. So, yeah, if you go to your box stores in anytime in the near future, if you don't find it right to have them invade your privacy, then you should speak up and say something. To what degree they'll listen, hard to say, but you get enough people complaining, then it starts to bring the attention to the individuals that started the movement for freedom and justice. So this is UIC 19B. This is an install for the box store adventure, or let's just call it the box store experience. So from up in Canada, I'm Dominic Raphael. I signed in as a doctor, and now I sign out as a doctor. Dominic Raphael, DR. Cheers.